Are you dealing with the trials of a difficult marriage or going through a separation or divorce? Welcome to the club, friend. Life is messy and it can be hard. I'm Jen Zingmark, a Christian life coach, and I have good news for you. There is a path to find hope, healing, and happiness, no matter what your circumstances are, and I can help you find joy in your journey. So let's go. Hey, y'all, and welcome back. I hope you're having a wonderful fall. It is still crazy hot here in South Carolina. We're running the air conditioning 24/7 here, but the kids are back in school and cooler days are on the way. I love this time of year. I hope you do too. Today, I'm talking to you about making decisions. So if you struggle with making decisions confidently, I will give you some things that you can apply right away. And if you struggle with indecision or second guessing your previous decisions, I will teach you how to get out of indecision and move forward confidently. Decision making is a powerful skill. It's challenging for so many people and can really create a lot of stress and keep you stuck. So, the first step to confident decision making is to make peace with your past and your future. To do this, you must believe that whatever you choose is the best decision for you, no matter what the consequences are. So if you get stuck in indecision and you find yourself second guessing all the time, you're operating out of fear. And there are two reasons for your fear. First, most likely you have made bad or wrong choices in your past, things that you believe would have turned out differently or better if you had made a different decision. And so you've lost trust in yourself. The second reason you're afraid is that you believe this decision will determine your happiness, success, or well-being in your future. Both of these reasons for being afraid and operating out of fear are thought errors, and they are blocking your intuition and your confidence. In order to make confident decisions, you have to first address these thought errors, okay? Let's talk about your past. If you want to look back on part of your life and believe that you made the wrong choice, or that your life would have been better or different if you had made a different choice, or that things would be easier now, or significantly better in some way, or the way that they should be, then it's going to bring up a lot of fear for you when you go to make new decisions, because you're not going to want to repeat that in your life. It means that if you don't choose correctly, a part of my experience might not be what it should be. It might be harder. And if you're a parent, this can play over into your kids' lives as well. Like you might put this extra pressure on yourself that if you make the wrong choice, my kids' lives might not be what they should be. And then I'll feel bad and my life won't be what it should be. So the first thing you have to do is experiment with making peace with your past. I want you to pinpoint something from your past that you feel was a bad choice or a wrong decision. Let's start with that. Take a minute and think if there is something that you've done or that you chose, that you decided to do in your past that you think was the wrong move. And you believe that if you had made a better choice, that it would have changed things significantly in your life. So take a minute and just think about it. Write it down. If you're not driving, write it down. And I want you to think about, how do you talk about this story or this situation? How do you tell other people or yourself about this decision? What is the story like that you tell? And I actually have a whole podcast devoted to just addressing your feelings about your past. So if this is something that you struggle with, I want you to go back and listen to it. It's episode number 8 called What is Holding You Back? And I will link it in the show notes for this podcast. But it goes into a lot more detail, but I'm just going to briefly touch on it here today. So once you write down the story, the situation about whatever decision you made about in your past, then I want you to write down the things that you say about it. What is the story that you tell? How do you talk about that decision? Basically, the story that you're telling yourself and choosing to believe is that you messed up and that you made the wrong choice. You're choosing to believe that you caused the problems or the harm or the pain or the suffering to yourself or possibly your family by making that choice. And that thought is what is causing you pain and fear now in making decisions now in your present. What I want you to know is that thought is not serving you. I want you to think of thoughts like clothing, okay? You can try on different ones and choose the ones that serve you. I want you to try on this thought about your past. Nothing went wrong when you made that choice. It was always supposed to happen the way that it did. Everything that has happened in your life is a result of that choice, was always going to happen anyway. And it is for your good. These thoughts that I've just shared with you serve all of us about our past. They can bring calm and confidence. And if you need help working on specific choices that you've made in your past and coming to peace with them, this is a perfect thing to bring to coaching. So set up an appointment, come and talk to me. I would love to help you with this. But these thoughts can benefit all of us about past choices that we've made. The other thought error that you might be dealing with is related to your thoughts about your future. Now, the reason this is challenging is because when we make a decision, it's often a decision about what to do now in order to have the future that we want or to lead to a situation we want in the future or prevent a problem in the future. And our brain can get really freaked out about the unknown in the future. All right. Because we might get it wrong and that might create a lot of problems. Can you relate to this? What I want to challenge you to do is also make peace with the future. Practice the thought that everything is going to work out exactly how it's supposed to in the future. And the future is just an idea in your mind. It doesn't exist yet. So we get to believe whatever we want to believe about the future. And I want to challenge you to believe the future is going to be exactly how it's supposed to be, perfect for you and for your children. It's not going to be perfect. No one's life is perfect or is supposed to be perfect. We're all having human experiences, right? That means that 50% of the time we're experiencing trials and challenges and struggles and negative events and negative emotions. And the other 50% of the time, we're experiencing success and wins and happiness and joy and positive emotions. That's the human experience. And guess what, friends? It's going to be exactly the same in the future. So you get to believe whatever you want to believe about the future. And I am telling you that if you choose to believe your future is going to be as wonderful as you can hope that it would be, then it will help you come to a calm, confident place. Actually, it will help you practice having optimism and faith in the future. Faith is just believing that everything will work out in the end. It's believing in a religious context that God is aware of us and that ultimately this is all part of his plan, that everything that is happening and will happen in your life is orchestrated in your favor. It's believing that the future will be what it's supposed to be and that you can handle whatever comes then, or that you will have the help and assistance that you need to handle whatever comes up in the future, and you will get through it. It'll be fine. That's what faith is. And abundance is sort of an extension of that. I think of it as everything will work out and there's plenty of what we need. And things are always going to go in my favor, whatever that is. Even if it's not the way I designed or would dream that my future could be, it's still always going to be in my favor. Then I don't have to stress and worry so much about making the wrong decision. I need to make the choice that seems right for me in that situation. I make the decision that seems like it's going to be the easiest or the path of least resistance or just the one that feels right. But if I'm wrong, okay, then I guess that's the path I'm supposed to be on. And I'll deal with whatever comes up then, and I'll learn and I'll adjust accordingly. So if you can get to a place where you have these thoughts about your future, it will give you feelings of love and trust in God and abundance. And these feelings do not feel rushed or fearful. It should feel like, okay, let's just do this because whatever happens, it will be fine. All right. That is the first step to making confident decisions. Making peace with your past and with the future. Second step to making confident decisions is making decisions from positive emotions, making decisions with feelings of optimism or abundance. If you're feeling fear, you need to slow down. If you're feeling abundant and optimistic and calm, then move ahead confidently and make decisions and move on. So the important thing in the second step is paying attention to your feelings and make sure that you make your decisions from a place of calm confidence or optimism. Okay. So how do you know when you should make a quick decision and move on and just own your decision and move forward, or when you should slow down and not be in a rush? All right. Because one of the things we know in the world of human behavior is that many times being in a rush comes from fear. Anytime you catch yourself in a real hurry to solve a problem or to get someplace and to make a decision because you just need to hurry up and get it over with, that's coming from fear. When you're making a fear-based decision, that's when I want to challenge you to slow down. When you feel yourself operating from panic, trying to get away from negative emotion, trying to get away from a bad feeling or away from frustration or guilt or shame, any negative emotion like that, I want to challenge you to slow down. Don't make a quick decision because you're trying to get out of those negative feelings. You need to avoid making decisions from a feeling of fear. Now, I'm not perfect at that. That's why I'm saying as much as you can, get out of those negative feelings, find a place of calm and confidence and optimism and hope for the future before you can make a decision. Okay. So as much as possible, slow down the fear-based decisions or actions so that you can take a look at it. You can question it. You can really pick apart the thoughts that you're having. And if you have a coach, that's the perfect person to work with you on this. All right. I want to tell you something. Fear is always a lie. Okay. It's always based on lies. It's a lie about the future. Fear doesn't even exist in the present. Fear is always about the future. So anything going on in the present is just a problem to be solved. We can deal with that. Okay. When whatever the situation is right here in our present, we can deal with that. Our brain is like, okay, here's the problem. Let's solve it. When there's fear involved, it's about the future and it's a lie. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. All right. So if I don't know what the problem is, I don't know what the parameters are, I don't even know what we're trying to solve. I don't know what I have to work with. I don't know what the timeline is. And, that's where fear and rush comes into it. Your brain asks all sorts of questions and it can start to work you up into a panic. So if you find yourself trying to make a quick decision because you're frustrated or irritated or upset or trying to get out of the feeling, I want you to slow it all down and don't do anything. Okay, work on those feelings and work on the thoughts that you're having. All right, so that you can come from a calm, confident place. That's a good time to take a deep breath, get your bearings, and check out your thoughts. Examine what is going on in your mind. What are you thinking about the situation? So that can take a long time or it can take a little bit of time, but it does take awareness and consciousness. Before you make a decision, just really check in with your feelings and what your thoughts are. When you're in a rush, it's usually because you're afraid. And ideally, we want to make our decisions from a calm, confident place, a place of abundance, a place where you have faith and trust in your future. When we're making an abundant decision, we will lean into and believe that whatever the result is, it will be awesome either way. Whatever happens in the future, there will always be a lot of happiness and joy, and there will also be some negative experiences. But either way, it's going to be exactly the experience that you and your children and your family are supposed to have. Okay. And when you can feel that way about it, then it takes a lot of the pressure off and you can it's not very dramatic or exciting. You can feel comfortable and confident that either way, whatever decision you make, it's going to work out just fine, either way. And then whatever the results are, whatever the consequences are from your choice, you will live with that and make good choices based on that. Okay. And if you don't have a really strong feeling either way, when you're trying to make a decision, but your thoughts are abundant and calm, and you feel like either way it's going to be a good decision, then you could just flip a coin or just pick one, because either way, there are going to be challenges and there's going to be awesome rewards and a lot of joy and happiness. And whatever comes, you're going to deal with that. I can give you an example of this. I was thinking about helping my daughter when she was making a decision about going to college. When she first applied to college, when she was graduating from high school, she really wanted to go to BYU in Provo, and she didn't get accepted right away. And, initially we both our family kind of felt like this is a disaster and this isn't what she wanted and her future isn't what she wanted. And it was really devastating. But after doing some thought work and prayer, and we really came to the point where we felt like it happened for a reason. So it wasn't meant to be. And so then when she took all of that pressure off and was able to think about like, well, if that didn't work out, she did get accepted to BYU Idaho in Rexburg. And the more she thought about it and connected with friends that were going there and accepted that, the more she realized that she really did want to go there. She was a little bit worried about missing out on fun and, the experiences that she would have had in Provo with her friends there. But she was excited about going to Rexburg and ultimately felt better about going to Rexburg. She had a lot of fear and trepidation about going to Provo. And so once we took all of the emotion out of it and examined the situation and accepted that everything is working out exactly how it's supposed to, she was excited about going to BYUI. And now she's graduated from BYUI and had the best experience there. Absolutely loved it. Definitely worked out how it's supposed to. And she's actually in grad school in Provo now at BYU, Utah, and having a wonderful experience there now too. To remind you, we make quick, confident decisions when you're making them from an abundant place, a calm, confident place. When you don't have fear, you don't second guess yourself. You listen to that part of your brain that's like, this feels right and I'm doing it. And you go with it and you don't worry about the fear or any of that negativity. When you are having doubt and fear and your mind is spinning and you're thinking, but what about this? And what about that? And what if someone's mad? And what if it doesn't work? And what if there's a pandemic? And what if we run out of supplies or money? And what if? That's when you need to calm down and slow down your process, and you don't make a decision out of fear. You first come to a calm, confident, optimistic place, and that's where you make your decision. All right. I want to challenge you to assume that everything is going to work out beautifully, that everything is going to work out perfectly. And if you can make decisions from that place, I cannot tell you how much it will simplify all of the other things in your life. You will gain the skill of making confident, abundant decisions. And it is such a blessing and a great skill to have. Another thing I want to mention is that when you're coming from a place of calm, confident optimism, you don't have to do hours and hours and hours of research and interview every person. You can do a little bit of research, do your due diligence, but don't spend more time than necessary to make the decision. It actually doesn't create your experience in the end. You do. You can actually decide beforehand that you're going to love your choice, whatever it is. You can do that. Abundant decisions make it so much easier when you start with a calm, confident feeling, and then you decide beforehand that I'm going to love the decision I made. Then you can just be happy with it and not doubt that. And as you practice this, you will get better at it and you will set yourself free from overwhelm and indecision and just being stuck and dragged down by the weight of all the choices that are out there in the world. All right. The third step to making confident decisions is to have your own back, as Jody Moore likes to say. Someone who has your back is someone that is with you. They're on your side. They will back you up. They will protect you. This is what you need to do for yourself. That's what I mean by saying have your own back. I want you to be on your own side. I want you to stand up for and protect your own decisions. This means don't doubt your choice. Continue choosing to believe that everything is going to work out exactly how it's supposed to. Okay? That even if you make a decision and things are a little bumpy initially, there's a few bumps in the road. Well, those are just problems to deal with, right? Challenges along the way. It doesn't mean that you made the wrong decision. Once you make a decision, don't doubt yourself. Have your own back, okay? And when challenges arise, like we know they will, because we're all having a human experience here, life is full of challenges, then you get to practice showing up as your best self. How will you handle your challenges? How will you handle the problems? You always get to choose who you want to be, okay? We get to work on ourselves because that's what will require us to choose consciously instead of just being able to be our automatic self when everything's going well. When there are problems or challenges along the way, those can be some of the best parts of life, right? We need them. We have to have them in order to grow and stretch ourselves and get better at being a higher version of ourselves. And then the other 99% of the time when everything's going well, you just get to have fun and be yourself without putting any effort into it. It's so freeing and empowering. And it's important that we get this practice when we do have bumps in the road. So Let's review the 3 steps to making confident decisions. The first step is to make peace with your past and your future. The second step is to make decisions from positive emotions, from feelings of optimism or abundance. Okay, don't make decisions when you're afraid. That's when you need to pause and get in a better situation, get in a better emotional state. And third, to make decisions confidently, you have to have your own back. And that means don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt your decisions. Protect yourself, stand up for yourself, honor your choice, and you will be better at making decisions. I promise. It's a skill. You can improve on it or gain this skill if you don't have it yet. And if you would like some help with this, I would love to help you. Bring it to a coaching call with me, and I would love to help you with any part of decision making that you're struggling with. Thanks so much for listening, guys. Have a great week.